starting already. So, hopefully you're all doing alright and staying safe, and hello and welcome back to some Tinkerberry Does Memes. In today's episode, well, we are doing some more trans memes today. Sorry about that, I was just taking a little sniffer to make sure my nose does not get leaky during this. And it's very annoying when it does. Alright, we're going to be jumping right back into where we last left off. So, last episode we left off here, and we'll be moving on to our next one. I did mark that off right. Did I mark this off right? Yeah, I did mark it off right. I have to mark what ones I have because I have 14k memes here. A lot of memes. I don't actually know how many memes are actually in here, but there's a lot. I don't want to actually check the number because it kind of ruins the mystique of how many is actually in here. But I dumped so many memes in here. I can't actually dump any more because I think my memory's full on my secondary device. So I actually have to go and delete a bunch of art inspiration that I was going to send over soon. So that kind of sucks because, you know, I needed all that art inspiration for when I was going to do, you know, art projects, you know. How am I supposed to know how big I should make this, you know, object, like, you know, a pickaxe? It's really annoying, I tell you that. Alright, let's get back into this before I go on a totally different rant. Playing a game for its gameplay. Playing a game to spend hours on the character customization screen. You know what, that's perfectly understand, but you know what, that reminds me, I should really get back into my Skyrim series. I keep forgetting about that. I liked my, what do you call it, character in that. Or Dark Souls. I had Ruby Nightfell and Dark Souls. Not to be confused with that Ruby character. But I quite enjoyed my character. We just were stuck, you know, very lost of humanity. And we kept dying to Quelaag. That's what we were doing last time. Hey buddy, just gonna ask, in your view, do you think I pass? Gonna be honest now, no pass. Dang, such a shame, I was trying to give this my best. No pass, smash. Wait, what? Normal gender envy. Silk song. Gives me dysphoria vibes, y'all. For some of yous. Alright. Why couldn't they have heard Fran or something? Using a new name, Freya, in public for the first time. Fred. Pumpkin Spice Latte. I feel like they do that on purpose, I tell you. I feel like they do that on purpose. A lot of them have started doing that on purpose because, you know, a lot of people use that to test out names. And it's really annoying that. I would love to be a girl because I want to be beautiful and cute. Also back to that Starbucks thing. I will say, I know someone that worked there and they just sit around doing nothing all day most of the time. Like the one that, you know, was near me. That one, you know, does nothing, you know, most of the time. They barely get any customers. I don't know why they built the place. They took over a nice restaurant that did some nice, you know, like onion rings and some other stuff. Bam. They turned it into Starbucks. Disgusting, I tell you. But I also don't mind being a guy, so I must not be trans. Have you thought about bi-gender or gender fluid? You know, that is a possibility. It's alright to explore, that's what I will say. Realistic transition goals. You know what, I was gonna say Rapunzel, no, it's Tangled. Do apologize. I'm probably gonna get bailed for that by my sister. Have to go back into the closet. No. Sad. Well, sometimes you just have to do that, Terry. Sometimes you just have to do that. Remember, your safety is important. And if you need to, there's a certain region in Argentina that you can save up enough money to and migrate there. And there is a good chance of you getting HRT. If you need this information, there it is. You know what you need to do with it. Just do some research. You ladies just haven't been with a real man yet. The little tiny little eyebrows, you know, really cracks me up. He said, "Ladies, I passed." Wait, they said he? I passed. Wait, He said they. You passed. It's so stupid, but you know, it cracks me up. It was a really, like, I'm pretty sure it started off as an anti-trans meme, I'm pretty sure. No. Anti-lesbian meme, that's what it was originally. I can't remember, it's been that long. I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere up in here. Some men may look like this. Some women may look like this. Deal with it. Well, if you were back in, like, you know, 4,000, 30,000 BC, who cares? I tell you, you know, this has been going on for like 2,500 years now. The hatred of just being people. Like, you know, humans are so unique. Like, look at the mushrooms. 15,000 genders in one mushroom. Crazy, I tell you, crazy. But they cannot just, you know, be human and accept, you know, something that is so acceptable. Because they just don't like how it does not work with their ideology. You work to afford video games. I work to be pretty clothes. Ooh, to have pretty clothes. OMG, I'm such a pretty princess. We are not the same. Oh, this one cracks me up good. What time are we at anyway? Dang, we're at 17 minutes already. Oh wait. I feel like that's a lie. Wait 1 second. Did I reset it properly? No, we are at 17 minutes. How did we get to 17 minutes? Oh, that must not be right. Let me check. No, we're at 6 minutes. You just gave me a heart attack, gang. How could you? How could you? No, I accidentally clicked the previous stream and it gave me the new stream, but it added the time that was already, you know, counting. And it's really annoying that. Alright, back on we go. The pipeline. I wish it was a boy, so I could be a gay boy. I was trying to do a nerd accent there. I wish I was a gay boy. A boy. I'm trying. How do you do a nerd voice? Yeah, I wish I was a boy, so I could be a gay boy. Is that good accent? I'm kind of just mixing so many accents that I have in my vocabulary. The pipeline trans. I can't do voices no more. It really is, you know, sad. I used to do a good nerd voice. It was ages ago. I did it for this one character and then I forgot how to do it, and then I kind of gave him like the most stupidest voice I ever acted. That was Coromon, if I remember correctly. I really cannot do a nerd voice. I wish I was a boy, so I could be a gay boy. In trance. I think that's a little bit better. I'm not sure. I don't do nerd voices very well. Visualizing in the mirror the man I want to become. It's not a bad, you know, choice. It's not a bad choice at all. Especially the leotard, I tell you. Leotards, you know, chef kiss there with consent. No, I wasn't born as a cis girl. Well, better luck next time. Or next life. Well, that's the point. You can do it in this life. It just takes a little bit longer. But it is a possibility, I tell you. It is a possibility. And if the world says no, then become chaos itself. You know, now I'm just imagining like some warlord, you know, becomes a warlord because we're trans. What have I created? I had a dream where I was a woman. It felt so real. You know, that's understandable. You know, we've all had that, right? No? And I woke up and it ruined my whole day. Yeah, it'd be like that. It's nice having a wholesome, you know, dreams, I tell you. Wholesome dreams. It better be wholesome for you. I see you there. I see you. That better be a wholesome dream you had. Or I'll find you. How I hope I would look after transition. How I fear it would be. You're just, you know, you're downgrading what you could become. That's what I'm saying. Like, you think you could become this, you could probably become that. It just takes, a little bit more work. Like, you gotta have to work on all those, different stuff. You think, all the, nice looking people don't work out or do some kind of exercise? They do some kind of exercise, Doesn't mean you can't do that exercise. Like, some people have, problems that they can't do certain exercises. Like, sit-ups are really bad for you, but there are many other techniques that are a lot better for you. Like, it turns out something I used to do as a kid that would be holding up my leg and then firing the leg outwards. Turns out that's an exercise. Oh, that was a great time, I tell you. That was a great time. Alright, on to the next meme. On to the next meme. Blunt force feminization. It, sometimes it be like that, One day you like this, and then one day you like that, and then sometimes you like this. It'd be like that. Alright, on to our next meme. The world if I was born a cis girl. But, have you thought about the world if I was born trans? It may not be perfection, but I would rather take that than not have you. That is what I say. You would not have become the person you are today, and I'd rather have that person than not have you at all. Why do I keep accidentally referring to myself with he, him when I'm thinking of myself? It makes me so sad. It is because you're currently in like that process of like, you're used to it. You say like, a lot of people like say like, oh, like M over there, like, that person, you'll say like, something that's in your vocabulary for so long, and you have to work through removing that from the, your vocabulary. That's why a lot of people have like, when they're doing like, like I've seen it for years. If a YouTuber has been doing like YouTube from a certain time that, was like certain, brain rot, they're probably still gonna be saying that brain rot 5 years later. Because they say it that often. I still know VTubers, that still do like sheesh and whatever else, now. It'd be chaotic, I tell you, it'd be chaotic. No, I'm a man, so I'll play only as a male. Playing as a girl in a video game, chomp. Still sister. That one never gets old. I remember, I had to come up with like a lie. This was I think, this was years ago. How long ago was that? Dang. I think it was like 14 years ago, 13 years ago. That was, I brought in my other Pokemon Y that I had as a girl, and I, didn't know that time, so I had to come up with like a lie that, I just accidentally clicked it, When I played Pokemon Sun and Moon, I would always, I was this female character, and every time that I went to a new city, I got a new dress. Brain, why did you never remember all this, The questions that could have been solved ages ago. Saddest man alive, 2013. Most beautiful woman you've ever met, 2025. It do be like that, I tell you. It do be like that. Alright. Also, I say it do be like that a lot. I never realized that. Also, we're at 14 minutes, so that'll be where we end off this episode here for today. So, hopefully you enjoyed it. Have a nice day, stay safe, possible. Make sure just needs to be very important. And when I say some of these